All right, so once again, welcome everyone this evening. Good evening, and this is Site Class. I am Oluwatobi Adewumi. I am a registered nurse, perioperative nurse in Nigeria, and I am a media literacy coach and also a speaker, and my areas of interest are in digital health technology, personal and professional development, as well as productivity, right? So this evening, this is Site Class once again for everyone just joining us for the first time, right? This is Site Class, and we call it a class of what is not taught in class. You know, we realized and discovered that the curriculum in school is already too bulky that you can't even exhaust it. Talk less of, being taught some other life skills, some other life lessons, some other knowledge that will be required of you when you get, outside of school. And that is why we've brought this platform up to be able to expose people, most especially registered nurses and student nurses, to some knowledge, to some wisdoms they need to navigate their way, even outside of the four walls of school, right? And this evening, we are going to be looking at a very, very interesting topic, very interesting one, really, very interesting. And this is one of the things I actually like talking about. So believe me, it's going to be a very good time together this evening. So we're going to be looking at a very interesting topic. And it is a topic and it is a concept that I believe that it is one of those things we need to understand to be able to function well in this digital age that we are, right? We are in a digital age, everything has changed. Everything is digital, everything has gone online. You want to eat, you want to shop, you want to get treatment, you want to chat, you want to write exams, you want to go to school, you want to call, you want to talk to someone. Everything today is online. And new systems require new wisdom to be able to navigate so that you don't just fall victims of praise and of some bad things that also comes with the digital revolution. So that is why we're going to be looking at media literacy this evening. Media literacy. Now, see, the topic of media literacy, now I'm going to leave all the tush English. I want to talk to us, right? I want to talk to us as nurses. I want to talk to us as professionals. I want to talk to us as young people that we really need to do well in this time, right? So I might switch from speaking big English to interacting with us as or on an informal basis. So please just pardon me and just go with the flow, right? Okay, so we are looking at media literacy. Media literacy, turbocharging your critical thinking skill. Critical thinking skill. Now, when we talk about media literacy, it entails two words, right? But before we go into it, I'm going to display something on my screen now. And I'm going to call on someone or two people to just, it is a very brief test, maybe about 1 minute. I'm going to call on two persons. If you want to volunteer, you can just signify by raising up your hand or just let me know in the chat box. So I'm going to call on two persons. I will display something on my screen and you will tell me what you can see. I'll display something on my screen and you will tell me what you can see. So I'm going to need a volunteer for that. So if you want to volunteer, just indicate in the chat box, just type yes. If you would like to volunteer, just type yes in the chat box. Type yes in the chat box if you would like to volunteer. I'm going to share my screen now. But if you would like to volunteer, just type yes in the chat box. It's not a hard task. I'm just going to display an image on my screen and you will tell me what you can see. You'll tell me what you can see, okay? Michael Toyosi said yes. Okay, we'll go first with Michael then. Favor, okay, Favor said yes. All right, so Michael and Favor will be our first volunteer tonight. Okay, so let's have it. I'm going to display something on my screen now. Second, please. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Michael, can you see my screen now? Michael, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, I can see your screen now. I can see your screen now.
Okay, great. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, we have two images on the screen, right?
Yes.
That's a mirror, and of course the other side as well, right? So I'm going to ask you, what can you see in that mirror? A good apple or a bad apple? Just, you don't need to think too much. Just look at it and tell me what you see. A good apple or a bad apple?
A good apple.
A good apple. Great, great. And look at the second image. Now, look at this very well, right? You would observe that there is a man holding the TV now. Let's call it the TV now. And then there are two people in that TV. Can you see the two persons in the TV?
Yes, I can.
Okay, right. We have someone on the left and the other person on the right. So what can you say? What can you pick from that image?
From the image, like I see like a hand is the image from the left hand side is giving the right hand side something.
Okay, now let me help you put clarity to it. It looks like the image on the left is trying to holding something sharp, trying to stab the other person on the right, and that one is trying to kind of scream for help, something like that, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Great, great, nice one. Thank you, Michael. All right, so let's have Favor. Favor, can you unmute your mic, please?
Hi everyone, good evening.
Favor, you're welcome. Good to have you once again. Okay, so Favor, let's get into it. What can you see on my screen? On the left, the first image, a good apple or a bad
apple? A good one.
A very good apple. Very nice. Very nice. Now, look at the second image as well. What can you see? Now,
violence.
Look into the TV, right? You can see two persons. What does it look like?
Violence.
The person on the left, what does it look like he's trying to do to the person on the right?
Violence.
Violence, exactly. So it looks like the person on the left is trying to harm the person on the right. Yeah?
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Favor. Thank you. Now, I'm going to go on to the next slide now. Now, don't be surprised. I'm moving on to the next slide now. All right, so Michael, unmute your mic again. Michael, what can you see? A good apple or a bad apple?
This, let me say, is a bad apple. Someone has eaten out of it.
But what did you see at first?
At first, I can see a good apple.
You could see a good apple. Now look at the second image. What can you see?
The second image, I can see two people, one chasing the other. Violence, anyway.
Violence. Now,
yes.
The first image you saw that it was the person on the left. It looked like the person on the left is trying to harm the person on the right.
Yes.
But now, the original image now shows you that it is actually the person on the right trying to harm the person on the left. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you so much. You can mute your mic, Michael.
All right.
Now, everyone, this is what media literacy is about. Now, if you look at first, when we look at the image of the apple, what you saw, now that mirror is a projection or is an example of our media. Talk of social media, talk of mass media, talk of the mainstream media, and any kind of media you can think about, right? Now, that's what the mirror depicts. And that mirror is actually showing a good side of a bad apple. So when you look at that mirror, when you look at that information projected in that mirror, you see that it is, you see that it is a good apple, whereas it's actually a bad one. Now, if you look at the second image as well, Another thing was being displayed to you on the screen, but the actual event is the opposite of what you are seeing. Now, this is going to serve as an introduction that the whole idea of media literacy is that your ability to be able to identify and evaluate information that you come across online, that you come across in real life, your ability to see, to access, to evaluate, and to critically discern every information you come across. That is basically what media literacy is about. But then there are some tips and tricks to media literacy. There are things that you need to consider before you can become media literate, right? I mean, media literate, right? So we are going to be looking at these things. But now let me run through the content we're going to be having today. So the first thing, we're going to look at the introduction to media literacy and the components. We are going to talk about information literacy, digital footprint, and internet safety. We're going to see virtual communication as well if we have time. Now, today, media is ubiquitous. Underline the word ubiquitous. If you don't know the meaning, check Google. Ubiquitous means global. It is everywhere. So new word alerts, you can add that to your dictionary. When you hear ubiquitous, it means that it is everywhere. It is global, right? So you are learning. You are inside class. You are inside class already. You just start taking notes. I think that's the first thing you need to know. Ubiquitous means global, right? So write that down. Now, today, media is ubiquitous, right? It is everywhere and plays a significant role in shaping opinions and perceptions. Today, in our society, largely, we can see that our perception, our opinions, even to a very large extent, our decisions are shaped by the information we consume. Our opinions, our ideologies, our perceptions, our thinking and thought process, our thinking pattern, even decision are largely shaped by the information we consume online. So it is a vice, it is a disaster if an information you come across online is capable of shaping your decision, shaping your opinion, whereas you don't actually know how to evaluate those information. So that is why it is very important for us to possess the skill of media literacy. And then by the way of definition, again, media literacy is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media in a variety of forms. It involves understanding the different ways in which media can be used to communicate messages and how to critically evaluate those messages. If you look at the images I displayed at the introductory part of this class, you would see that it is one thing for you to see a message, and it is another thing for you to understand what the message is actually carrying. And oftentimes, what you see, it is not all there is. What you see is actually not what is in that message, but an average individual take everything they see just like that, and it is very dangerous. So we're going to be seeing some other things as we continue. Why is media literacy important? Why is media literacy important? Number one, it helps you to avoid misinformation, right? It helps you to prevent cyberbullying. It helps you to escape scams. I'm going to explain how you can do all of these things as we go ahead. And then, of course, it helps you to avoid social isolation, right? Okay, so what are the components of media literacy? When we talk about media literacy, it is not just one thing, right? So there are a variety of things that comes together to form media literacy. There are a variety of skills that you must possess before we say that you are media literate. Now, if you want to say someone is illiterate now, that means the person must be able to read, the person must be able to write, the person must be able to learn, the person must be able to unlearn. Those are the components of being literate, right? So those things must be available before you say this person is a literate person. Right now, in media literacy as well, there are some components, there are some things you must know before we say that you are, a media literate person. And these are information literacy, digital footprint, internet safety, ethical use of digital resources, and virtual communication. See, the truth is, we might not be able to finish these things. We might not be able to finish it. It's a very long discussion, very interesting one as well. But anywhere we stop, I believe you're going to get a lot of value, right? So if you're following me, let me know you're following me, and we're going to take the components one after the other. Let me know if you're following me. Let me know if you're following me. Okay, following, yeah. All right. Okay, so let's go. Information literacy. What is information literacy? We established earlier the major part, right? The major component of media literacy is actually information literacy. Following, great, thank you. The major part, the major component of media literacy is information literacy. Guys, you will agree with me that we are in an information age. See, the information is just too much. You can get literally any information you are looking for online, except some very few ones, right? So information is everywhere. Everybody is posting something. Everybody is writing something. Everybody is blogging. So there is an ocean of information. So now, the major component of media literacy is information literacy, your ability to access. Now, the access is not access, ASS, take notes, ACCES. Your ability to access, another word for access, like to locate. Your ability to locate, to evaluate, and to use information effectively and ethically. And it includes the ability to locate, analyze, and evaluate information sources, as well as the ability to use the information to make informed decisions. Now, see, there's this favorite quote I used to say, that the news is not the news. The news is not the news. A lot of times, guys, just follow me, right? Just follow me, you will get a lot of things. We are building our wisdom. We are giving ourselves wisdom. We are teaching ourselves how to be able to think critically, analyze, and evaluate information, right? Now, look at this. The news is not the news. A lot of times when you see something posted online, when you see something shared online, when you see a news headline, when you see a blog post headline, when you see a Twitter post, when you see an Instagram reel, when you see a picture, when you see a video, the first thing that comes to your mind when you see those things is most likely not the actual thing that information is carrying. Oftentimes, it has been established, and this is even scientifically proven. You can go to Google and just type media literacy, or just type this phrase, the news is not the news. You would see a lot of reports that actually support this, that a lot of times the things we see online are not the actual thing that is communicated, or they are not the actual thing that has happened, right? So the news is not the news. So what are the steps you can take to evaluate online information for credibility? What are the steps you can take to evaluate online information for credibility? So let's see some of the steps you can take when you come across a news, when you come across a post, when you come across an information. Now, take note of something, that when we talk about evaluating information, thinking critically about information, you agree with me that it is not all information. There are some information you see, there are some posts you see that doesn't make sense to you. You don't even need it, so you just scroll and pass. But those information that are of interest to you, or that can directly or indirectly affect you personally or your career, these are the kind of information you are talking about that you need to be able to evaluate and discern the credibility of such information. So what are the ways, what are the steps you can take to evaluate online information? Number one, guys, anytime you come across information online that piques your interest or that can directly or indirectly affect you, and you are not sure of that information, the first thing you should always check is the source of that information. The first thing you should always check anytime you come across an information online, anywhere online, is check the source of the information. And what do we mean by source? Who is posting it? Who is the person posting it? Is it a general news outlet like the big news company as we know them? Is it a blogger? Is it an influencer? Is it one of your friends? Is it your tutor? Is it your matron? Is it your pastor? Who is posting that information? Where is it coming from? Where is the source of that information? The source of the information is going to give you a lot of clue into whether that information is likely to be true or false. What is the track record of the source giving you the information? Maybe you have someone on your timeline, maybe on your WhatsApp status, the person is always uploading, maybe some kind of false or fake news or some sort of propaganda and all of those things. And the person is uploading something that is of interest to you. When you see that kind of post and you see where it is coming from, even if it is true, media literacy is that you are able to calm down and check, okay, this person posting this thing, I'm not sure. Then you can begin to look out for other places where you can get similar information or the same information to be able to validate the credibility of that information. So when you come across anything online, any information online, the first thing you want to do is always check the source of that information, right? The second thing is assess the author's credential. And what do I mean by this? I'm going to cite an example to explain this. Let's say, for instance, I'm coming, I want to see someone online here. I'm coming. Let's say, for instance, Grace Adeni now. Okay, let's say, for instance, Grace Adeni was just on a maybe Twitter handle or Instagram handle, and she discovered that somebody just posted drinking more than 500 mils of water per day is dangerous to your health. Drinking more than 500 mils of water per day is dangerous to your health. As a registered nurse or as a student nurse, even a year one student nurse, when you see that post, what comes to your mind? When you see that kind of post, what comes to your mind? Like, who is this one? Like, who is this one? So when you see information or something that piques your interest or an information that you know that can have an effect on you, when you check the source, another way to verify the credibility of that information is check the author's credentials. And what is the author's credentials? The author's credential is that this person telling me this thing, what experience, what expertise, what track record does this person have to be giving me this kind of assertive information? Right? So let's say, for instance, the person posted, I think I'm seeing some funny comments. Let me see. Michael Toyosi said, I'll be like, oh, wrong now. Yeah, it's actually wrong. Okay, so now, for instance, the person posted drinking more than 500 mils of water per day is dangerous to your health. The first thing that should come to your mind is, okay, where is it coming from? Then go to the profile of the person tweeting or writing that kind of thing. Who is this person? You will be shocked to see or to get to the profile of the person, and you will see the profile, the bio of the person, digital marketer, content creator, and Netflix and chills, full stop. They will now put like 2-3 emojis. That's the bio of the person giving you the information of drinking more than 500 mils of water per day is dangerous to your health. Now, you get that. So when you see that kind of credentials, you will know that this is a clue for you. It may not be absolute to judge the information, but it is a clue for you that this information, I can't absorb it just like that. Then you can begin to study further, research further, check for other sources. Now, that is just an example to drive home this point. Anytime you come across anything online, any information online, anything at all that piques your interest, check the author's credential. Always check. Always check. If it is a news, if they wrote it on a newspaper or something and you saw the author, go and Google the person. Who is this person? type the name of the person on Google. Who is this person? For this person to be saying this kind of thing, what authority, what credentials, what expertise, what experience does this person have to put out this kind of factual information? So this is going to give you hints to be able to discern the credibility of that information. That's another thing you can do. Also, the next thing is check for bias. Now, I'm going to dwell on this a bit. I'm going to dwell on this a bit, and I want you to listen very well so that you will not hear what I'm not saying. Hear exactly what I'm saying, right? Let me look for a very good way to put this. Do you know that if you are a content creator on this page, if you are a very serious content creator, right? If you are a very serious one, like a professional content creator on this page, you dish out content often, you create content for blogs, for media pages, and all of those things. You write sales copy and all of those things. You would agree with me on this. Now, I want to, do you know that everybody posting something online today, everybody posting something, whether a content, whether a picture, whether a video, whether just a post, even as little as hashtags, everybody posting something online is posting it with a motive behind it. With a motive behind it. That post that you just saw, you think that normal post, you just saw it brands. The person that posted that thing is posting it with a motive. The motive might be to evoke a certain type of emotion in you. The motive of posting that content could be to make you think of someone in a certain way. I'm going to give examples, don't worry, I'm going to give examples. It could be to make you feel somehow about someone or about something. Another thing is that when we say check for biases, everybody posting something today, be it an individual, be it a blogger, be it an influencer, be it a corporate organization, be it the big news outlets that we know. I would not mention their names here because we are on a public space. It is part of media literacy to know what to say and where to say them, right? So I'm not going to mention their names, but we know those big. If you want to quickly confirm a news, like a world news, you know which platform to run to. All those, big companies, even they, right? They are always naturally inclined towards a particular fashion, or towards a particular person, or towards a particular ideology, or towards a particular mindset, right? So it is that mindset that will shape, or it is that ideology, it is that inclination that shapes the way they are going to put out a news or an information to you. Let me give an example. This is very much popular in politics. Now, let me give an example. Let's say the president came to Lagos now. The president of Nigeria came to Lagos, right? And two news agencies wants to report that occurrence. The president came to Lagos to commission a new refinery. That's the news. Like, that's what happened. Now, two news agencies wants to report this. One news agency is owned by, let's say, agency A is owned by an opposition party, and agency B is owned by the government. Now, let me give you a typical example of how the two agencies are going to report the news. Agency A is going to come out and say something like, market women left stranded as market women left stranded due to the president's visit to commission the new refinery, or something like a very heavy traffic prevented market women from doing their business today along Lekki Ajah Expressway as the president came to commission the new refinery. That's agency A. Agency B, which is owned by the government, is going to report that same occurrence, that same scenario, the same news. The agency B is going to say something like, crowd and the general public joyfully welcome the president to Lagos for the opening and the launching of the new refinery. The general public and crowd gathered to celebrate and welcome the president as he commissions or as he opens the new refinery. Now, see these two news. What can you observe? What can you observe? Favor, can you observe anything? What can you say to that?
Well, what I can say is that the first one wants to turn people against the government, while the second one wants to hail the government.
Exactly. You can see that now. This is the same occurrence, but because of biases, two people are reporting it differently. Now, so this is the effect. If the only thing you saw, right? If the only headline you saw, if the only news you read is the one that says market women were unable to do their business due to president's visit, inside your mind you'll be like, all these are politicians. They are not just serious. Ordinary to come and commission something, they do not allow people to go to market, they do not do this. Inside your mind, that's what you'll be thinking, that all these things are not necessary. These are politicians said. Now, see, don't be deceived. You are not the one actually thinking that way. It is that same, it is because of the way that information was projected to you that steered that reaction in you. The same you that reacted and blamed the government for causing traffic, if the only source of it, if the only news headline you saw was the one that says that the crowd gracefully and joyfully welcomed the president into Lagos to commission the new refinery, your reaction is likely going to be, wow, nice one, at least something, maybe the fuel price will reduce or something. So it's going to, your response is going to be different. Your response is going to be different. So it is actually not you responding that way. It is the way they give the information to you that is determining your response. And normally, it should not be so. It should not be so. So what you should do, a lot of times when you come across information is the idea is don't jump to conclusion. Don't see just one source and jump to conclusion. It is very risky, right? Don't see just one source and jump to conclusion. Try and examine the news, evaluate it, check for other sources. This particular thing that this person is saying, how is another person saying it? What is another perspective to this? What is another angle to this? No, because we are in a digitally distracted time that we don't even have time to start evaluating information. What was my business? Let me just see. They said this thing happened. Now wow. And subconsciously is doing something to your mindset, that your decisions, your idea, the way you talk will be shaped by that information you are coming across. So if you don't have a right perspective about certain information, about certain news, it's going to affect you even on the long run. Affect your decision, affect your thinking, affect your choices, right? So it is very good when you are evaluating information, you need to always check for biases. You need to always check for biases, right? So that's that on that, and let's move on to the next. And the last thing that I'm going to share on this one is that always verify the information. After you might have checked for biases, verify. How do you verify information? Cross-check with another credible source. Cross-check with another credible source. Look for information that is consistent across multiple sources. Right? If the information is not consistent, it may not be reliable. If the information is not consistent, it may not be reliable. So always make sure to verify your information before you come into any kind of conclusion. Okay, so that is information literacy. If you are learning something, let me know in the chat box. If you are learning something, let me know in the chat box. If you're learning something, just let me know. Type learning, type, yeah, getting it. Just let me know you're getting something before we quickly into the next part. Learning plenty of things. Okay, learning. I'm learning. Okay, great. Now let's move into the next part, which is, now I know this part is actually very much more interesting. Very interesting. And I need everyone to pay attention. Now, this is going to be practical. So please just pay attention, right? So now we want to talk about digital footprints. Digital footprint is another component of media literacy. So when we are talking about media literacy, we've seen information literacy, and we've seen, now we are looking at digital footprints. What does digital footprints mean? Now, you know, footprint is just a trail of your presence in a particular place or in a particular location. If you open a door, you've left your fingerprint on the handle of that door, and you've left your footprints on the sands of that room, right? If you go anywhere, your footprint, your fingerprint, something about you is going to indicate that you are in that place or you've been to that place. Now, when we talk about digital footprint, it is the same thing. It is something, a trail of your presence in the digital space. A trail of your presence in the digital space. As a means of definition, it means that Oxford Dictionary defines digital footprint as the information about a particular person that exists on the internet as a result of their online activity. Now, guys, let me tell you something. Now, this is my specialty, and I know it very well. I know it like I know my name. Let me tell you this fact. There is nothing, underline the word nothing. There is nothing you are doing today in the digital space that is not being stored or kept somewhere that can be accessible by another person. There is nothing you are doing digitally today in today's world. Now, don't be scared, but I'm going to repeat that. There is nothing, underline the word nothing. There is nothing you are doing today on your phone, on your laptop, as long as it involves digital, that is not being recorded, stored, or kept somewhere. What is the implication of that? The implication is that most likely everybody is exposed. Everybody is seeing what everybody is doing. Everybody is looking at what everybody is doing. Your location, the music you are listening to. Something happened last December. How many of us uses Spotify? If you use Spotify, just let me see, type yes. We know. Favor, I'm going to come to that. Favor is asking if it includes WhatsApp chat. I will come to that. Okay, how many of us use Spotify? If you remember last December, towards the Christmas and the festive period, Spotify did something, right? They gave you the analysis of all the music you've been listening to the point that they gave you the total number of minutes that you've spent on their application. Isn't that supposed to unlock some kind of curiosity in you that, wait, are these people actually looking or watching me from somewhere? Now, let me give another example. Have you probably, if you use Jumia very well, have you probably gone on Jumia and then you searched for something? You wanted to buy something on Jumia. Let's say you wanted to buy a shirt or a skincare product, and you went to Jumia, you searched the name of the skincare product, and You eventually didn't buy it, or probably you bought the thing, and then you went to Google or YouTube, and inside YouTube, you begin that same thing you searched in Jumia begin to reflect in your YouTube page, or begins to reflect in another thing entirely that you are doing. Or you will even open another application and you begin to see that same thing that you just purchased showing inside the new application you just opened. How many of you have seen something like that? If that has happened to you, just type yes. Let's know, so that it won't be like I'm saying something that is out of point. Favor said, yeah, okay, Favor. Is it only Favor? I know that a lot of us would have seen and experienced something like that. Michael, yes. Yes. Have you not asked yourself that, how is this thing happening? How is it happening? Have you not asked yourself? Now, that is another indication to tell you that somebody somewhere is, how did YouTube know that you just bought something on Jumia? How did Google know that you just ordered for a particular kind of thing, or you just searched a particular information? So now this is to establish the point that everything we do online is being monitored directly or indirectly, right? And what is the implication of this? The implication is that we have to be careful of our activities online. And then there are some things. Yeah, someone is giving an example of Facebook. Yeah. And then we need to be careful of our activities online. And then there are some things we can do to protect to a reasonable extent the way our information will be exposed online. So I'm going to show us some of these things we can do to have a very good digital footprint and to also help us to secure some of our information online, right? So please stay with me, don't go. This is very important. This is very important. Now, let me say this, that we are in an era where your digital footprint will carry far more weight than anything you might include in your CV or your resume. We are in an era where your digital footprint, that is your online activities, your online posts, the stuff you are watching, the stuff you are liking, the stuff you are sharing, the things you are reposting, the things you are viewing, because it is not only like, share, and repost that records your activity. Even view, when you view, have you not checked Instagram stories? If you used to upload Instagram stories, you'll be able to see the number of people viewing your story. Same thing, normal WhatsApp status too. So even the things you view is being recorded somewhere by someone, and someone somewhere is seeing it. So we are in an era where your digital footprint will carry far more weight than anything you might include in a resume or CV. What does this mean? Today, people are being kicked out of their job because of their online activities. People are losing scholarships, or people have lost scholarships because of their online activities, because of one post they liked, because of one post they commented on, because of one thing they said somewhere in one online meeting. People have been kicked out of their jobs because of their online activities. People have been denied entry into some countries. People have been denied entry, or people have been denied access to some benefits because of their online activities. So your digital footprint as a nurse in the 21st century is very, very key. You must have a very clean and very good digital footprint if you really want to, go far with your career and in your personal endeavor. Now, Favor is asking that, sure, we should not talk again. Don't worry, I'm coming to that. We will get to questions, and I'm going to be happy to answer all your questions. So let's go. 5 ways to build a reputable digital footprint. Now, the idea is not that you should not talk online. The idea is not that you should not like a post online. The idea is not that you should not repost content online. The idea is not you should not engage online. But there are ways to do this thing. That is what a lot of us do not know. There are ways to engage appropriately when we are in the digital space. There are things you should not say. There are things you should not do when you are online, as these things directly, impact our reputation online. So 5 ways to build a reputable digital footprint? Number one, the first way is to consistently, well, maybe consistently or sometimes anyhow you want it. The idea is create, follow, or share high quality, relevant content across different platforms that you can find yourself. Create, follow, share, like only quality and relevant content across the platforms you find yourself. You see, a lot of us, now, I'm going to begin to break some tables now. Don't be annoyed. We'll greet ourselves after the class. A lot of us, once you are able to see 1 gig or 2 gig subscription, everything that is doing is finished. The next thing is just go online and you can stay on Instagram, and every post, and the one that concerns you and the one that does not concern you and the one that is making sense and the one that is not making sense, once you see it, the next thing you are doing is, as long as it makes you laugh and it makes you feel good, you just carry your thumb, palm, like. As long as the post makes you feel good and makes you, maybe makes you laugh, probably made you laugh, or it made you feel good, or it made you feel all right, or it resonates with one kind of idea that you have in your head, the next thing you are doing is just carry your hand, palm, like. Is it bad to like post? Is it bad to retweet? No, but check what you are liking. Check the person that posted what you are liking. Can you be proud to be associated to this person in real life? Are you proud to be associated with this person in real life? Because immediately you register your like on that post, it is not only you that saw it, though, every other person can see that thing you've liked. There's a story of someone that retweeted a post, I think 1/8 speech or something like that. And when the person was about to maybe contest for a particular political office, they went and dug out that post, which was like maybe 3 or 5 or even 7 years ago. They dug out that post that he retweeted 7 years ago. And that single post denied him access to that office. I'm going to show us some examples. I think I took some screenshots that I should show us. I'm going to show us as we continue, right? So when you are engaging online, the way to have a reputable digital footprint, that anybody that come across you online, or anybody that wants to search you out, anybody that wants to, have anything to do with you and then wants to get your online profile, are able to only attach you to very good things. Don't be like the mediocres and just anybody, the masses on the street that says, "Now me get my sub, anything I like, I tweet. Anything I like, I follow. Anybody I like, I follow." Don't think like that. Don't think like that. Only people that are not ready to go far in life think like that. Mind you, having money and plenty money is not going far. So you can still be doing rubbish and have plenty money, but if you really want to make sense, impact life, and be a person of value in this life, you shouldn't think like that. And let me get my hand, let me get my tweets, let me get my sub. Anything where I like, anything where I see, I follow. Nobody can tell me to not follow or like anything. You don't talk like that. You don't think like that. So from today, before you register your like, or before you follow, or before you click that thing, check, is it high quality? Is it relevant? Is it something I can be proud to come out anytime and defend, right? So take note, that is the first way to build a reputable online digital footprint. Also produce and consume quality and relevant content. The second thing is that digital footprint can be helpful or harmful to reputation, both now and in the future. Do not post or share offensive or illegal content. It can damage your reputation and may result in legal or damaging repercussion. Now, let me show us examples. If you can see your screen, there are three news headlines here. Now, the first one is, if you can see your screen, the first one is, if you see that headline, it says that woman loses NASA internship. NASA is it's an international agency that has to do with, you know, all these spaceship and space exploration, right? So woman loses NASA internship after swearing on Twitter at a National Space Council member. I wish I can pull out that Twitter post so that we can all see it, but it's like I didn't put it there. So what happened? There's this lady, you can see her name. If you look at your screen very well, you can zoom in, you will see her name. She just got accepted for internship in NASA. So, and then she used a particular F word. You know, F word are regarded as curse words now. So she used a particular F word, like everyone shot, you can see the post, right? Now, after posting that, someone responded to the post that mind your language. Someone responded to the post that mind your language. Now, this lady responded back to the person and said, what's your business? And used that word again repeatedly on that same post. And the person that was telling her to mind her language eventually turned out to be an executive board member on the organization that just accepted her for internship. You can see how she lost that internship. Like she lost it. There, like no story, no anything again. She lost it. She lost it. So this is how you don't know who you are interacting with. You are in a global village. You are in a global village. Everybody can connect and meet anybody at any time. So when you are interacting online, use your sense, right? Don't post offensive word. Now, this is another headline: student athlete loses scholarship due to social media posts. This is an athlete who he lost the scholarship because of something he posted online that he was not supposed to post. Now, this is another post from someone. This person said, if you have JAPA plans, be mindful of what you tweet. Today, they denied my doctor friend visa to Australia for a scholarship she won for Masters in Public Health because of a thread she made about homosexuality some years ago, 3 years ago. So a post of 3 years ago came back to haunt someone. So please, guys, let's be mindful of the things we share online, the things we post. We are professionals. We are professionals. We are healthcare professionals. There is an image you represent. We represent nursing. If you are not a nurse and you are here, there is something, there is an identity you are representing. Much more than that identity. So don't write something that will put you in trouble. Just because you have sub and you have device and you have the capacity to tweet, because you have something to say does not mean you should say it. Calm down and read the room. Calm down and read the unwritten rule. In every territory, in every space, there are written rules and there are unwritten rules. The power that be, the power in control, we only come out and give you the written rules. These are the things you should not do. These are the terms and policies. These are the rules and regulations they will give you. If that is the only thing you follow, you might be missing it. So every space, there are unwritten rules that nobody will tell you not to do it. But do it. After you've done it, that is when you see the consequences of what you just did. So when you want to post something online, when you want to engage online, engage with sense. Right? Engage with sense. Think twice. Think of the likely consequence of what you're about to do. This is not to put fear in us, right? But this is just wisdom to secure your future, to secure your career, to secure yourself. Yeah, we can make progress. I hope you're getting something. I hope you're getting something. Okay. Now, let me say this and we run. I don't want us to spend more than, I think in the next 10, 15 minutes, we are going to close. So let me quickly say this. Number 3, please take note of these things very well. This is what I said when I started. Once online, things can exist forever, even if deleted. Once online, things can exist forever, even if deleted. So don't think that you posted something and you quickly delete it. Let me use this word, they play. They play. Oh. They play. You thought you deleted it, but my sister, my brother, you didn't delete nothing. Somebody somewhere, an archive somewhere is capturing everything that can be brought back to you live and direct. That see, these are the. Wait, what principle do you think recycle bin is working with? These are the questions you should always ask yourself. How do you think recycle bin work? The recycle bin on your system. The recycle bin. Somebody saying, wow. The recycle bin on your phone. How does it work? In your mind, you've deleted it now. So somebody that can program a recycle bin that can still hold a deleted information temporarily, do you think that person cannot program another thing that you don't even know that exists, that can capture your information, even when you've deleted them? Now, the idea of this particular point is that when you are online, especially on social media spaces, sorry, please give me a sec. Give me a sec. I think my battery is going down. I need to just quickly plug my phone. Just give me a second, please. Okay, so we can continue. All right. So the idea of this particular point is that when you are online, don't share all your personal and sensitive information. Do not share personal and sensitive information online. It is wrong. Put a bit of mystery around your life. I'm going to say it. A lot of you will say that, leave me alone, I can share anything I like. Yes, you can share anything you like, but don't think of today alone. Sometimes in the future, even when you've repented from the old ways and the rough life you are living now, and then you want to begin to live a good life, even later in future, then the things you've done today will now come and be haunting you. It doesn't make sense. So even while you are at it today, do not put out all your personal and sensitive information online. Right? It can be used for a lot of things, for theft. It can be used for other malicious purposes. What are sensitive or personal information? Your credit card details, your personality type. Let me say this. Before I came on this meeting, just some few minutes before it, I was on my mentor's WhatsApp status, and he was sharing something on media, something about media literacy, actually. I don't even know if he's currently here with us. Let me see. So he was sharing something on media literacy on his status. And one of the things he mentioned that caught my attention is that some of you will go online and go and brag about your personality type. Say, I'm you, I'm sanguine, I'm this, I'm choleric, I'm melancholic, I'm all of those things. Some of you will even put your zodiac sign and join. You put everything there. Do you know that you can be manipulated by your personality type? With the information that your personality type carry, that is enough. That is enough to, even more than enough to manipulate you into doing some things. You don't know, but the people, the power that be, that are in charge of media knows this thing. If you have Netflix subscription, I'm going to recommend something to you. There are 2 Netflix documentaries that I want you to watch. The first one is Social Dilemma, and the second one is The Great Arc. Social Dilemma and The Great Arc. I can bet it with you, after watching those documentaries, you'll be more careful about the way you trade when you're online. You'll be more careful. Right, so what did I call it again? Social dilemma and the great arc. So now the point here is that do not share a lot of your personal or sensitive information online. It can be used against you at any time, even when you delete it. Let me give us an example. If you have an extra device with maybe a second phone, you can go to Google Chrome, right? Go to Google Chrome, clear your browser's history. Clear all your browser's history on Google Chrome. After clearing the browser's history, then go to, I want to type a link now. This is a very practical class. This is a practical class. After you've cleared all your browser's history, myactivity.google.com. Now, after you've cleared all your browser's history, go to that link that I just sent on the chat box, type it on your Google Chrome. You would see that everything you just deleted, everything you just deleted is still archived inside somewhere. The history you think you've cleared, the history you think you've cleared is still inside this particular archive. So until you clear it inside this myactivity.google.com, that stuff is still existing. So when you clear your history and you think you've cleared it, you do not clear anything. No. myactivity.google.com. Another shocking thing about this is that last year, I think around October or September last year, I came across an information and I was surprised. I got to know how to download my Google data, like my data that Google has with them, like my data or my own data, like everything about me that Google has with them. And do you know that currently, as at last year, September, I have up to 70 gigabytes worth of data with Google. 70 gigabytes worth of data in forms of information, my activities online, my my social media posts, the videos, all those videos you used to back up on your Google Drive. The Android users, all those things you back up, the videos you record, everything. And when I downloaded it, come and see everything that's me, the owner of the data that I've even forgotten about, is still somewhere. Locked up, people having access to it. They might not have direct access to it, but with that information, anything can be done. So why am I saying I can teach you how to download? If you want to see your Google data, if you want to see your data that Google has, I can teach you how to do that. Maybe you don't have much time again, so you can just send me a DM, or I'll just find the time to teach it on the WhatsApp platform, right? How to download your Google data to see how much of your information is up, your location. Everywhere you've gone to, if you use Google Map, everywhere you go, they are seeing it. Google Map, everywhere you are going, they are seeing it. So the idea of this point is, at every point in time, always be mindful of the kind of information you share about yourself online, right? So let's fly. We should be closing now. I think the second to the last point here is think before you post and think before you click. Think before you post and think before you click. Evaluate the credibility, appropriateness, source, and relevance of a post before sharing or engaging with any media content. Always think, don't be under the influence of adrenaline or the influence of, what's the name of this hormone? Remind me. What's that hormone? Oh yeah, now remind me. This excitement of more now that makes you. Why did I forget? Somebody should remind me now. Favor, dopamine. Thank you, Favor. Don't be under the influence of dopamine and you get so carried away by what you are doing online, and anything you see, just like comment, share, post, repost, and all of those things. So think before you post and think before you click. And how do you think? Evaluate the credibility, the appropriateness, the source, and the relevance of the post you're about to engage in or the post that you're about to give out, right? So, and then the last thing I'm going to share on this point is, anytime you put any information online that is not directly from you, always acknowledge your source. Always. It could be an image, it could be a video, it could be anything at all. Anything at all. So anything at all you put online, always acknowledge it. Always acknowledge it, always acknowledge it, always acknowledge it. If you copied an information somewhere, put it there. Even if you don't know the source, if you don't know who is the original or originator of that content, just put copied, so that people know that you are not the original curator of that content. So always acknowledge your source. It is very important. It is part of media literacy. The last thing we are going to talk about as we close is internet safety tips. We've talked about all the old dangers and, the way you are exposed online, the way everybody is seeing what you are doing. So let me just share some tips with you on how to at least put some safety around the things you do online. The first one is, when you are creating any account, make use of strong and unique passwords for all your online accounts. Some of you would want to create an account, and in the account, your name is, for instance, your name is Makinde Favor. In the account you are creating, Favor, sorry for using your name, but then now let's take your name is Makinde Favor in the account you are creating. You now went ahead and used Favor Makinde as your password. That's think about it. Like that's very wrong. Very, very wrong. You shouldn't do that. Create very strong and unique password. And in your password, it should not be less than 8 words or 8 characters. Mix it with numbers, uppercase, and sometimes you can make use of what's it called? Some special characters like underscore, asterisk, and all. So now I know some people will have the question of if I use different. Now look at this point. Do not use the same password across multiple platforms. Don't let your Gmail password be the same thing as the password on your Jumia account. Don't let it be the same as the password on your Netflix account. It shouldn't be the same as the password on your Facebook account. So you shouldn't use the same password, because if one of those accounts gets hacked, all of your accounts is exposed, right? So use different password across different passwords. No, I know someone might want to ask that, what if I forget? I cannot remember all the password. I cannot be remembering password and all of those things. So Google has a feature that helps you to store all your password. Google Chrome now, if you use Google Chrome to browse, or if you use, I don't use iPhone, so I don't know how it is on iPhone, but if you use Android device and you use Google Chrome, Google has a feature that helps you to save all your password in one place. All your password in one place. If you've tried creating an account before, and then after putting your login details, maybe you've given your username, you've given your password, it's going to ask you, do you want to save? Or something like that. It's going to ask you, do you want to save the password maybe for future use, or do you want the system to remember you when you come back to log in again? So anytime it asks you that question, just click yes. So once you click yes, it's going to save your password, and you might not need to maybe remember it when you want to log in again. And if just in case you probably want to log in that same account on another device, there is a way you can access that password if you've forgotten. And the way to access it is, let me just copy this and put it on the screen so that you can just type this in your Google Chrome. Passwords.google.com. This is a practical class, so we are giving out just very useful tips that you can follow to do some things. Okay. So maybe you probably want to log in on another device and you can't remember that password. Just go to your Google Chrome and type passwords.google.com. So it's going to take you to a page in your Google account where you would see all the passwords and all the accounts that have been saved. And then you can look for the accounts you're trying to log in, and then you will see the password there. So you can just copy out the password and use it and log in on another platform. So that's one way to protect yourself online. The second thing you can do to protect yourself online is be cautious about clicking on links or downloading attachments from unknown source. Be cautious about clicking on links or downloading attachments from unknown source. Now, this is very common. You know, I don't know what's wrong with some of us. Some of us still fall for the scam of somebody will send you a broadcast message that the federal government is sharing laptop. How many of you also still remember you still receive that kind of messages? And it's so annoying. Federal government is sharing 50 laptops to 50 students. So because you need laptop, you now carry yourself, you carry your hand and go and click on the link that was attached to that particular post. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. Before you click on any post, before you click on any link that is sent to you, maybe through WhatsApp, maybe you come across it on an internet space, or maybe in your email, please always check the domain name of that particular post. And what do I mean by domain name? Domain name is the www.something part of the website, right? Of that particular link. So by the time you start seeing link like, let me show us one example so that we can get what I'm saying. Let me show us one example. There's one, somebody still sent something like that to me yesterday. So let me show us one example. You will see what I'm saying now. This is a very practical class, so I need everybody to just get what we are saying and be able to apply the information practically. So yeah, I can find the link now. Okay, let me come back to what we're doing here. Okay, so go to the chat box. I'm going to paste a link to the chat box now. Now, see this link. Somebody sent this link to me and told me that ShopRite is doing giveaway. ShopRite is doing giveaway, that anybody that clicks the link, ShopRite will give them something. They can be able to win a particular thing from ShopRite. Now, look at this link. Just calm down, take a deep breath and look at that link. Does this look like ShopRite link to you? Does it look like ShopRite website? If ShopRite is going to give out any offer directly from ShopRite, it's going to be on their website. So as an individual who is media literate, who has media literacy skills, you should be able to go ShopRite. The first thing you should do when you see this kind of link is go to Google and type ShopRite website and check the domain name for ShopRite website. Now, let me give you the correct domain name of ShopRite website. Just hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Okay. Now, see ShopRite to everybody. Look at the first link and look at the second link. What can you see? Can you see what I'm saying now? So that is the original ShopRite website and the fake one. So you know that the difference is very clear. The difference is very clear. So now the wisdom is Anytime you come across any link, somebody asks you to click one link, you will get something. If you see any link starting with all these W dots, and then it's having a lot of dots, and all of those things, please just do away with it, because it is not necessary that you maybe apply for something on that website, but immediately you click that link, a portion of your information or details have been gotten. Now, this is how people who use it for evil acts, this is what they do. Now, I studied a bit of cybersecurity, right? I read a bit on cybersecurity, and this is what they do. This is what they do. When they send out links like this, now links like this are going to, now have you ever seen something like accept cookies? When you are registering, when you just open the website and they say accept or reject cookies. So links like this will display something like that, accept cookies. And once you allow cookies, once you accept or allow cookies, a portion of your login details, a portion of your information has been captured by that website. And that information that has been captured by that website can be used against you, can be used to hack every other platform. Now, there's something I wrote here, that's email phishing. There's something called email phishing. Email phishing is that, for instance, let's say you have a Netflix account. Let's say you have a Netflix account. You want to renew your Netflix sub, or you know that you're supposed to renew your Netflix sub, and then you got an email, and in that email, the person is telling you that the email is going to appear like it is from Netflix, like it's going to appear very, very real, like it's from Netflix. And it's going to tell you that to renew your sub, click on this link. Then you click on it. They will now tell you, put in your login details. Then you put in your login details and you click. By the time you click go, or by the time you click send, that's all. You've given them the old details of your Netflix account. They can do and undo with it. So when you receive emails and somebody is telling you to click one link or the other, check the email very well. Check it very well. Ensure that the domain name you are seeing is the original domain name of that particular organization or website you are trying to interact with. So please be careful of the links you click and of the things you do online. And I think the second to the last thing is use privacy settings on your social media and on other online platforms. Let me be very careful of your Gmail account. A lot of us are more careful of our Instagram account and Facebook account than we are to our Gmail account. If your Gmail account can be hacked, every other thing about you can be hacked. Once your Gmail account is hacked, if your Instagram account is hacked, that's fine. It's only Instagram account. But if your Gmail account is hacked, every other thing about you is exposed. If you're a kind of person that does online transaction, your card details are exposed already. So you just begin to receive debit alerts. You just begin to receive debit alerts. Where is this coming from? So protect your Gmail account. And one of the ways you can do that is two-step verification. So if you want to do two-step verification, just go to your settings. Let me see if I can bring that out, pull that out for you. So for your email address, I'm going to encourage that you do two-step verification. So this is the way, just go to your settings in your Gmail, and then you'll see manage Google accounts, check security, and then you see two-step verification. And then if you want to do it for your social media account too, if you want to do it for your social media account, maybe for IG and co, just go to your account, go to settings, go to security, and then you would see two-step verification. So activate two-step verification, and you will be able to add a layer of security to your account and prevent it from hackers. And the last thing here is keep your operating system and software up to date. Install updates. When your application tells you that it's out of date, go and install the update. It helps to, it helps to keep your phone, it helps it to, develop or have the latest security features so that it can prevent it and prevent some of your information from being exposed. And the last thing is use a VPN when accessing the internet on public Wi-Fi. A lot of us, We don't even know this. When you connect to a public Wi-Fi, you are not safe, like you are not safe at all. Anybody who has access to that public Wi-Fi can access what you are doing. So a lot of times when you want to do something sensitive, like online transaction, you want to buy something online, you want to register for something that you don't want people to know, please always make use of VPN. Make use of VPN, turn on your VPN when you are using a public Wi-Fi, so that at least a layer of security or privacy can be on what you are doing. And I would recommend, if you want to download a VPN, I would recommend that Windscribe or Thunder VPN. You can check your Google Play Store, you'll see it. I think you can, if you use iPhone, you can get it from iPhone as well. Apple Store, sorry, you can get it from Apple Store. So you can use Windscribe or Thunder VPN, any of the two is cool. And there are some other good ones that you can use. So make sure you turn on your VPN. It's going to always add a layer of security for you when you are using a public Wi-Fi. All right, so these are the things you can do to protect yourself when you are online. So far, we've been able to see what media literacy is. We've been able to understand how we can access, how we can evaluate the credibility of an information online. We've also seen how we can build a reputable digital footprint and how we can protect our footprint. And also, we've seen some internet safety features and tips. So I'm going to stop here. This is 9:30 already. Sincerely, I budgeted 90 minutes exactly for this class. I don't want us to exceed this time. If we continue, there are a lot of other things. We've not talked about virtual communication, how to talk when you're online. Because it is not only about having something to say, you must know how to say it, right? We've not talked about virtual communication. There's still another one, ethical use of digital resources. That's another part. So maybe some other times, or maybe on our WhatsApp platform, I'll find a day to explain a lot of that. So let's just stop here for tonight. I believe you've gotten something. Now you're going to do something. Before I take questions, you're going to do, if you've learned something, please let me know you've learned something. Let me know you've learned something. And of course, the WhatsApp page is open. Go and pepper everybody that didn't join the class tonight. Pepper everybody and let them know that they really missed a lot for not joining the class tonight. Make sure they are peppered. Let them know that they've missed a lot for not joining the class tonight. So tell everybody, share what you've learned, share what you've gained, share the value you've been able to get from tonight's class. Some people started with us, they are unable to stay till the end. Yeah. So in the next 5 minutes, let me take question. Favor, you have a question, you can go ahead and ask your question. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. My head is full right now. Good evening, everybody, once again. So my question is as follows. Number one, does that mean all our chats too are open to the public? Number two, because what you said, I agree with it in the sense that at work we have a work Wi-Fi whereby everybody uses the Wi-Fi. So some people use the Wi-Fi to download pornography, some use it to download movies on YouTube. And when it was time for operational meeting, the manager was telling us that you are using our Wi-Fi to download pornography. You are using our Wi-Fi. I think we're not staring like, how come? And those people that use it to read, those people that use it to read, those people that use it to like improve themselves, to the extent that no so person, you are running so course online, no so, and I'm like, Egbami, how do these people? So as regards our Wi-Fi, I was surprised. So when you are saying it now, I can actually relate. But as regards that what they call it, that WhatsApp something, please, is it that is open to the public too?
Okay, yeah. So
And how can we also do digital sanitation by, because everybody.
Thank you for that question. Okay, so to the first question, when it comes to your chat, right, your WhatsApp chat, anything that has to do with conversation, like chat that is meant to be personal. Maybe, let me quote it or target DMs. Now, when it comes to your DMs, right, there is something called end-to-end encryption. End-to-end encryption. Now, for all of these social media platforms and all these digital platforms and all, there is always a privacy policy. See, a lot of us, you just go and click and accept things and conditions. You do not know what you're accepting. That's another story for another day. I'll find a day to talk about terms and conditions. A lot of you will enter into agreements that you do not know about. But then, now to the question now. When it comes to your DMs and personal conversations, there is a level of privacy on it. The privacy is not absolute, right? It is not absolute, because I believe strongly that someone somewhere can still have access to it, right? But then there is a level, there's a degree or a high degree of security on your personal messages, on your DMs, that it is not just anybody that can access it. It's not just anybody that can see what you are typing or what you are chatting. Once it has to do with DMs. So for instance, if you check your WhatsApp, if you go to your WhatsApp now and you try to, let's say you try to initiate a maybe video call or a voice call, let's say a voice call, you would see that at the top of the voice call, they will tell you that this call is encrypted. What encryption means? What encryption means is that it is only you and the person you are talking to that have access to the information that is flowing. There is a medium in between. There's a medium in between, right? There's a space in between. In between that space, that information that you are passing is going to appear irregular. It's going to appear like something that does not make sense. So anybody that have access to what is going on in the middle might not really get what exactly you are saying. So no other person can see what you are saying. No other person can understand what you are saying. So it is only when any chat is encrypted, it is only you and the person that is receiving and the recipient that has access to it. Now, let me relate it to if you are a Christian, if you are a believer. Now, apologies to non-believers or non-Christians. This is just to drive home a point, right? I'm just trying to, corroborate the point. There is something in Christianity, there is something called praying in tongues. Praying in tongues, praying in the Holy Ghost. Now, when you pray in tongues, the technology you are engaging is end-to-end encryption technology. End-to-end encryption, because no other person understands what you are saying. No other person knows what you are saying. It is you that the tongue is coming out from, and the person you are speaking it to that understands or that knows what is coming out of your mouth. So every other person will be hearing gibberish. Every other person will be hearing gibberish. So that technology is end to end, right? So Adroja said privacy is an illusion. Very correct. Privacy, there is really no privacy. As long as you are online, there is no privacy. But to every kind of online platform, there's a degree of privacy. So for the DMs and WhatsApp chats, there's encryption, right? There's encryption that it is only you and the person that is receiving that can get it. In cases of crime, this is one way you are going to know that everything is not completely secured. In cases of crime, let's say, for instance, Mr. A and Mr. B is chatting. Mr. A and Mr. B is chatting, and Mr. A committed a crime, and they needed to see the conversation of Mr. A and Mr. B. Do you think they will not pull out the chat? They will pull it out. Where are they pulling it out from? No, they play. So even when you are chatting, we know that there is a level of security, right? But always also be careful of what you are going to, say online. There are some things that you should not say online. Call the person, say, guy, I want to tell you something. I want to see you. Where you dey? Follow the person, talk one-on-one. It's not everything you carry to Facebook. If they hack your Facebook account, everything you've said, right? So that is one of the things. So it is your DMs are saved to an extent, they are saved because of the end-to-end encryption. And then the second question is, how can you do digital decluster or digital sanitation? What you need to do is, one thing you need to do is, you might not be able to clear or get rid of everything you've typed or you've done online. But one thing you can do is, number one, go to your email and go and unsubscribe from every email that you are actually not getting value from. If you check your email, your spam folder, and all of those things, you will see a lot of emails that are not even relevant, and these emails are coming in from some website that you've logged into, some website that you've provided your emails to. So go and unsubscribe. It is very easy to do that. Once you open an email, you will see 3 vertical ellipses, click on it, you'll see unsubscribe. Or you can scroll down to the end of the email, you'll see unsubscribe. So just unsubscribe from it. That's one way. Another way is that you have to actually manually sit down, open your Twitter, go to the first thing you posted on Twitter and start clearing it. So that's another way, manually. You can do it manually as well. And yeah, so, okay. Well, any other question? Have I been able to answer that? If you have other questions, just let me know. Let me know if you have other questions. Favor, since you have more questions.
I still have one more question, please.
Please go ahead.
Be angry. These cookies of 18, because when I first saw cookies, I was like, is it Maryland cookies or which kind of cookies is this one? And I noticed that there are some websites, until you accept cookies, you will not be able to, they will not allow you to scroll. You cannot even disallow, you cannot even reject. You must accept. And you need the information. As in, is it
okay?
What did it
Yeah, let me explain the concept of cookie. Now, cookies is not bad on its own, right? But the technology behind cookies can be used in a negative way. Now, for credible website, let's say for instance NHS website, nhs.gov.uk. Maybe let's say you go to NHS website, they will ask you to accept cookies. Now, the idea of cookies is that cookies is actually to make things easier for you. So they put cookies there so that when next you come to that website, you won't need to start inputting all your details to log in again. All the images, all the content that's already loaded the first time you came to the website, by the time you come the second time, it's going to load faster, it's going to load more easily. All your movement on that space would be faster and will be easier when you accept cookies. So that's the function of cookies. Cookies is just to is to help you to record, to make your next and subsequent visit on the website easier. But then people can hack into cookies of websites, because what cookies is going to use to allow you have a more enjoyable ride in your second visit to a website, include your email, your login details, your every information about you that you provide, right? So some people can hack into that cookies and withdraw those information you've provided and use it for malicious purposes. So cookies on its own is not bad. So the only advice that I have for you is that when you log in or sign up to a particular website that you are not sure of or you do not trust, and they ask you to accept cookies, don't accept it. Just close the website and get out. Just close the web. If you log into any website that you are not sure of, or you mistakenly click a link and they are asking you to give cookies, just close the website and carry your bag and get out of that website. Because it could be a website that is masked to collect your details for malicious purposes, right? So that's how cookies work. Yeah. Any other question? We need to get out of here in the next 3 minutes. Let's go. Any other question? Okay. I think we good. If you have any other question, I'll be happy to take your question on the group page in my DM. My DM is open. You can ask me any question. I will be happy to answer you. So we've come to the end of today's class. Adroja, thank you for joining. Jasa Jeremiah, thank you for joining. Eniola, Favor, Grace, Mrs. Ijoma, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming, Mrs. Ijoma. Justina, I see you. Michael Toyosi, thank you. Olanike, Shitsu, Susan Themidayo, Oyi, I'm suspecting you, Oyi. I think I know this, Oyi. I know. Definitely, I know. Precious, Larry, thank you. Sharon, thank you. Tenitope, the Technos, thank you. I hope you've really learned. Please give me feedback. You can send me a DM. You can send your feedback to the group page and let me know you've learned something and we've not wasted our time tonight. Once again, thank you everyone for joining. And we will see on the other side and looking forward to the next episode of Sci Class. And please, as you go, share the links to Sci Class, invite people. If you are still in school, please send Sci Class link to students, let them join, right? Let them join Sci Class, send it to staff nurses, send it to some groups you belong to, let them know the value they can get from Sci Class. It is a community of not only book-wise people. We are building a community of street-wise, because book-wise only we're not able to live life enjoyably, right? You have to be book-wise and you have to be street-wise. School, we make you book-wise. Sci Class, we make you street-wise. So please invite everybody to Sci Class, and God bless you all. Thank you for joining. See you on the other side. Have a great night.
If you can move the highest mountains, cross the greatest oceans, and walk across the water, you feel defeated, falling on your knees and looking up for some hope tonight. You try to stand up, but you throw your hands up like you no longer have the strength to fight. 'Cause you've seen too many sunsets, too many days ending in the darkest night. But on your own, you'll never know, never know. If you believe you can move the highest mountains, cross the greatest oceans, walk across the water, Believe you can move the highest mountains, cross the greatest oceans, walk across the water. If you believe. They say that all you need is faith, but it's almost like you lost your way. Took a few wrong turns, took a few breaks, falling behind now looking for grace. 'Cause you need someone to lift you up, yeah, make right all the things you've done. 'Cause on your own you'll